Now, usually when there's news and rumors, I like to give my expertise, my analysis, my view, because this is called Sean's View Entertainment. Sometimes I strategize, I think about it, I put together my thoughts, my feelings. Sometimes I jot it down, sometimes I write it down. But this is going to be something that is completely flipping the script, because this is just what, just is absolutely ludicrous, ridiculous, and to me doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. Now, the report went out that we were going to see a Cruiserweight division on Monday Night Raw. We thought it was going to be energetic. We thought it was going to be enthralling. We thought it was going to be entertaining. We thought it was going to be high-flying. We thought it was going to be breathtaking. And the Cruiserweights, when they had their own show and crowned the first ever Cruiserweight champion, was a great thing. We were off to a strong start. Hell, even the match that we had on Monday Night Raw, the debut of the Cruiserweights. But now a report comes out, a report surfaces, and here on Sean's View Entertainment, we know the drill. I work it prolific, I work it consistent, and I work it dedicated. And I always will make it. I will always make it brash. Share this video on Twitter and Facebook. Yes, I understand. I know. The shout-outs. The shout-outs are coming, okay? I've been doing live streams. I've been doing live events here on YouTube where I've been more interactive than I've ever been. I take your live calls. I read your comments. You get what you want to get out there. Well, I'm going to get this out there. Like I said, I'm shooting. I ain't got no script. I ain't got nothing written down. I ain't got no notepads. I ain't got no, e-pads or emails or FedEx or UPS. No, this is just me kind of ranting on this rumor. Now, there's not many times I come on here and rant about rumors and news in the WWE. Long before I started doing news and rumors about WWE here on YouTube.com, I did these little shoot rant videos. And, that's really what, made an impact. And then of course, I went to storylines and drama and yada, yada, yada. But I'm not doing that. But I think I'm going to start shooting more when it concerns, shooting from the hip, so to speak. Letting my emotions be felt. Hearing, seeing, and knowing what I am feeling. You know what I'm saying? So now the report goes out today, and it actually makes me mad. It actually rubs me the wrong way. It actually flusters me. They are going to now tune down. They are now going to water down the Cruiserweight division. If you were expecting high impact, high flying, intensity, action, if you're expecting the Cruiserweights to be Cruiserweights, which is why they were put here to be Cruiserweights, to be different from the mid-card, the main event, different from the bodybuilders, different from the guys that are overweight, different from any other caliber superstar, the Cruiserweights, where you're awaiting to see a car crash. And now the WWE already is putting their foot down on the Cruiserweight division. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you were expecting the Cruiserweights to be flying around the ring, you might get one or two high-flying impact maneuvers, but that's it. The WWE are not going to step over the line. What we saw on the Cruiserweight show, is not what we are going to get on Monday Night Raw, because the WWE, once again, is going to tone it down. Why? Okay? Now, I understand maybe one or two matches, maybe keep the flow, because you don't want to get it old and tiring. I understand that. You don't want to see a high-flying move every other minute, but you want to maximize this. You want to see the potential. You want to see how these guys are different. You want to see what these guys are doing outside of what other wrestlers are doing. That competitive spirit, okay? The Cruiserweight divisions are just that, Cruiserweights, which means they defy the law of physics, the law of gravity, which means they are trying to set another path. And now the WWE is already worried. They're already concerned. But you know what? Then again, you got to look at it from the WWE's perspective, with all the injuries and all the surgeries and Finn Balor's and Seth Rollins and all these other guys, Randy Orton, concussions and knee injuries and surgeries and what have you. But these Cruiserweights, they crash and burn, okay? That's what makes the Cruiserweights so exciting, so engaging, so entertaining. But now the WWE is already shredding away what makes the Cruiserweights the Cruiserweights. They're already taking apart the Cruiserweights and what makes them click. Cruiserweights clicking on Monday Night Raw. So when you watch them at Clash of Champions, maybe the WWE will switch it up. Maybe the dynamic will be differently. But now the expectations and the anticipation is no longer, for me, at an all-time high, especially when the WWE is thinking about doing this. Now, like I said, I mean, you don't want to start hearing, and if the WWE stays the course with this and They don't want to see these guys flying around the ring, and they don't want them to take chances, and they don't want them to, think outside the box. And the WWE is already having their hand in something that could have been incredible. Something, and this is what makes me it pisses me off. Okay, it makes me so mad because here's an opportunity, here's a chance that the WWE had to do something really epic here. One of the reasons to watch Monday Night Raw. And now the WWE is already stripping away the layers. You have got to be kidding me here. This is outrageous. It doesn't make sense. It's not moral. It's not correct, and it lacks. So my feelings and thoughts is it's completely ridiculous. I don't like it. I'm not for it. I'm very much against that. And listen, like I said, I don't want to see a high flying move every minute. But the fact that the WWE is already putting their foot down and saying, well, this is not what you're going to get. What you saw and what you're going to get, it's two different things now. So, I mean, just I'm gonna bring up the report right now because this, I don't want to read it again because it just makes me more mad every time. For those that were expecting the same high-flying style of wrestling as seen on the Cruiserweight Classic on the WWE Network will sadly be disappointed. Apparently, the WWE is going to tone down the division that is seen on Monday's Raw every week, so they aren't doing so many big flips and high spots during their matches. Once again, I am scratching my head. I can see, at least the WWE is looking out for their superstars. They're looking out for their athletes. They're looking out for their well-being and their health, and I understand that. I get that from a business standpoint because you got to do what's best for business, and you got to look out for their best talents. And listen, at least can we get them to go all out on pay-per-view? Can we at least get that much? Or when you do a WWE Network special, can you at least do that much? I mean, I don't. This thing's going to be killed before it gets started, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want to see that happen. Okay, it was something really awesome could materialize out of the cruiserweights here, okay? Something that was, pretty much not on the focal point, something that was underrated, something that wasn't highlighted, could have really, brought huge gains to WWE. Could have been one of the watching points of Raw, and now they're already trying to ruin a good thing. This is my rant. I apologize for this rant. I mean, usually I'm calm, cool, collected, and I like to think I'm a little calm, cool, and collected, but I had to get this off my chest because this to me is just, it's ass backwards. That's all there is to it. Thank you for watching. Share this video on Twitter and Facebook. More news and rumors in WWE, and you will be seeing more shoots and promos coming out of me and rants because there are just some things that I can't hold in anymore. I have been holding in Sean's Entertainment for so long, and that's it. And this isn't about drama. This isn't about BS. This isn't about politics. This isn't about haters. This is about my personal feelings. I have been holding it in for so long now. And now it is time for the shooter, Sean's View Entertainment, to shoot once again on what I like, what I don't like, and what needs to change. Subscribe.